Hey folks, welcome back to my vlog. This is for the Dewey's 24-hour readathon, which is about to start. It has just gone, it's almost 10 to 11 on Saturday night here in Canberra, which means it's just late, I'm tired. Things are going to run a little bit differently this evening than I usually do because I've just recently gotten back into Formula 1 and there's a race in Portugal this weekend and qualifying is at midnight and I can't miss qualifying, can I? So usually I would go to bed at midnight, but I'm going to stay up. So the first book on my TBR for this evening is The Secret River by Kate Grenville, which is the book that I'm reading for uni. I've gone through the first chapter, which is like 70 something pages, because I did read some of it today. I don't know how long a period I'm going to be able to read this for at a time, so I'll see how I go. I want to get a big chunk of it out of the way. I don't have to finish it this weekend because although there are some questions that I need to answer online this weekend, we're actually doing 2 weeks on this book, so I can probably get away with leaving some of it until next week. But I do want to try and get at least halfway through it. So that's first up. Then if I need a break from that, this evening I was going to pick up Winter's Tale by Nike Silway, illustrated by Shona O'Meara. This is a children's book from the Titania imprint of 12th Planet Press, which I crowdfunded, which I have not actually read yet. So, like this, it's a children's book, but there's a decent amount of text in it. So I figure that'll do. Then I can either go back to The Secret River or pick up one of the other short things, maybe Persuasion by Jane Austen, depending on whether I decide to read during qualifying or not. It depends on how exciting qualifying is. If there are some slow periods, which sometimes there are in the middle of a session, I might actually get some more reading done. But we'll see how we go. Yeah, so I'll be starting in about 10 minutes. Yay! Readathon! Good morning. It's just gone 10 o'clock. I've been awake about an hour and a half. I've read a little bit more of The Secret River and I have read a little bit more of Persuasion, which I read a little bit of last night while dozing in front of the Formula 1 qualifying. And now I think it's time to attempt Criers War by Nina Varela, which is one of the YA Our Crate books on my pile for today. I don't know how I'm going to go. I'm not really feeling in the mood for new stuff. Honestly, I may end up curling back up with Persuasion, but I want to at least give it a go and see how far I can get through it. So, because the problem with staying up so late last night is I am quite still tired this morning despite being awake. So my brain's running a bit slow. And I feel kind of like comfort reading as well because I've got a hip injury and it's aching because of the damn weather. But we'll see how I go with Criers War. So it's now 10 past 11 and I have just spent most of the last hour reading Criers War, and I am actually enjoying it, which is always excellent. I'm only 64 pages in. I'm not been eating particularly fast today, and this is about 430 pages. So, but I'm going to keep going with it. It's science fiction-y, magic-y kind of thing. It's basically a world where a queen once found she was barren and then requested her alchemists make her a child. This is set sometime after that, where the Automa are now the ones in charge, and humans are second-class citizens. And it's essentially about two girls, one who is the current king's, the current sovereign's made child, and one who is human, whose family was murdered by the Automa during a raid on their village, and who is now seeking revenge. And of course, Crier, the Automa, has just discovered a secret about her own making. So, yeah. So it's sort of politics, but with a bit of science. It's, alchemy. Is that science fiction or like Ultima science fiction, or is alchemy magic? It's interesting. I'm enjoying it. I'm really very much enjoying it. So I shall keep going with this, although I might take some breaks to read more not Pride and Prejudice, more Persuasion, and of course I've still got more of At the Secret River to read, but I am enjoying Cry as well. So it's just gone 1 o'clock. And over the last couple of hours I've continued to progress through the same 3 books. I'm getting quite close to being halfway through The Secret River, which is my goal. So I'm at 42% according to Goodreads. So I'm getting there, a few pages at a time. Still not loving it. It's just not my cup of tea. But you know, I'm still getting through it, so that's fine. I recently just spent quite a bit of time reading some more of Persuasion. So I think I'm about a third of the way through this now. It's a reread. I love it. It's Jane Austen, you know me. So it's very much of a comfort to read, and I'm finding, you know, I do need some comfort reading as well as the new stuff that I am engaging in. And I am also about a third of the way through Cry as Well, which I am still enjoying. Yeah, so it's still, you know, still the 2 main characters are sort of trying to figure out what's going on around them. And they now know each other, but they're, you know, they don't quite trust each other yet. So, yes, so enjoying it. I've also been listening to music this morning. I'm on an Irish kick. So this morning I listened to The Cause first album, Forgiven Not Forgotten. I've listened to Steph Jeremiah, who's a folk flautist who I saw in person as part of a group early on in my folk festival days. So I've listened to her album. I've listened to Aoife Scott, who is again Irish. And now I've got my second Celtic Woman album on, and this is the really long one. This is like the celebration of a decade of Celtic Woman, which is like the singing group. So it's the CD version, which I gave my mother, is 4 discs. So there's a lot of songs on it. Not all Irish, but all that kind of folky feel at least. So I've been listening to that. Yeah, so I'm going to continue on reading these 3 books. So I probably will stop, I think, once I get to halfway through The Secret River. But these 2, it's entirely possible I might finish them today. We'll see how I go. I'm not feeling the urge to read a comic yet. So while my brain is still going well, I'll continue on with these. A quick update now that it's hit 3 o'clock. I'm still working on the same 3 books. I am very close to being halfway through all of them, actually. I'm about 3%, so a few pages probably away from being halfway through The Secret River, at which I can relax and not have to pick it up anymore if I don't want to. I'm also literally at 49% on Cry as War and 49% on Persuasion. So, yeah, I've been mostly reading Persuasion this last hour or so, but, yeah, working through both of them. And Persuasion is much, much shorter, so that'll be gotten through faster. I think I'm going to go for a little walk, probably just around the block. My shoulders and neck are getting a bit stiff and sore, so go for a bit of a walk, and then I'll settle down, probably to Cry as War again, possibly to Persuasion, who knows. But yeah, essentially I'm just spending the entire readathon working through the same 3 books. Some stage I might pick up something shorter. We'll see how I go, but I would actually like to read the entirety of Cry as War. So yeah, but it's 3 o'clock, the readathon finishes at 11, so there's what, 8 hours left? So there's still plenty of time. I finished it. All 430 pages of it. I finished it. I really, really like it. I'm not going to review it right now, but I really like it. And yes, it's a series, and so yes, it's going on my series to be continued list. Second book came out in September. So, yeah, I really like this book. So, but it was very, very tense at the end. So now I'm going to go and read some more Persuasion so that my heart rate can go down. Then after that, I think I'm going to tackle maybe a comic. Maybe the Tansy novella that's also on my pile. I still do need to read a little bit more of The Secret River as well. But for the moment, I'm seeking comfort in Jane Austen. Hey, so it's nearly 7:10. I have had dinner, gotten over halfway point for The Secret River, so that's goal achieved. Read more of Persuasion, and read The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl Who Runs the World. Squirrels! So, which I giggled through, because I always giggle through Squirrel Girl. So this is volume 6 by Ryan North and Erica Henderson. And yeah, it's great fun. Squirrel Girl is always great fun. So there's just under 4 hours to go in the readathon, I think, if my maths is right. It finishes at 11. So for the moment, I'm going to go back to reading Persuasion. And see if I can get that finished. And I guess then we'll see what might come after that. I've got more comics. I've got a novella. I doubt I'll get to the other novel that was on my TBR, but that's fine. You know, one entire novel plus a whole bunch of shorter stuff is pretty damn good. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Right, so it's almost 9 o'clock in the evening, which means there's just over 2 hours of the readathon left, and I finished Persuasion by Jane Austen. So, tick, that's another one off my currently reading list. So, what I think I'm going to do for the moment for the last couple of hours, or however long it takes me, it might take me less, is I think I'm going to read The Frost Fair Affair by Tansy Rayner Roberts. This is the sequel to the novella Tea and Sympathetic Magic. It's also a novella. It's sort of a Regency-esque magical world, comedy of manners type thing. I really, really love Tea and Sympathetic Magic, and this, I haven't been listening to the podcast version of this because sometimes I just enjoy reading something first, and I knew that this was coming. So I'm going to read The Frost Fair Affair. Hey, so there's about 3/4 of an hour left of the readathon, but I'm throwing in the towel. I'm very tired. My brain just doesn't want to read anymore. So I just want to go and like stare at YouTube videos or something until the race starts in a couple of hours. But I did do a lot of reading, so yay! I got to halfway through The Secret River by Kate Granville. I think I was about a quarter of the way through when the readathon started, so that's a quarter of the book that I wasn't enjoying. But it met my goal for the weekend of getting halfway through, and I can read the rest of it this coming week for university, because we're doing another week on it, so yay! I also read most of Persuasion by Jane Austen. This was a reread. I was about 30 pages in when the readathon started, and I finished it, so that was fun. Most of these reads were fun when you ignore The Secret River. I read all of Criers' War by Nina Varela. So this is YA science fiction / fantasy. Really, really, really enjoyed it. Want to read the next book. Oh, by the way, all of these I will do proper mini reviews of in my October wrap-up. But for now, really enjoyed. Last night I did read Winter's Tale by Nike Silway, illustrated by Shauna O'Meara. This is a lovely, lovely, diverse, sweet kids book that I was part of the Kickstarter funding for. Really, really recommend it to anybody with kids. I, of course, read the entirety of The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, Volume 6, Who Run the World? Squirrels, by Ryan North and Erica Henderson. Always love Squirrel Girl, lots of fun. And I finished up by reading The Frost Fair Affair by Tansy Rayner Roberts, which is the second in the Teacup Isles series of novellas. And again, a lot of fun, a lot of laughter. Seriously, I was laughing at the dramatis personae at the front. So always, always recommend Tansy's writing. You know me, it's a great deal of fun. So that's what I read. If you want to know more about any of those, I of course will have my little mini reviews in the wrap up after the end of the month, or you can ask in the comments below, or if you've read them yourself, talk to me about them in the comments below, because apart from the one book, they were all really fun reads. I really enjoyed this readathon. So yeah, I guess that's it for the 24-hour readathon until April and the next Dewey's 24-hour readathon. I will see you all again really soon. Bye.